Hi guys, we're back again. Welcome back to We Style Homes. And here we're going to discuss a lounge in Westminster.
So when we normally walk into any room, we always like that wow moment. And when we walked into this, we were kind of confused. The units were a good color. They did give storage. There was even display, but something just wasn't working. So what we wanted to do is we wanted to create an impact when we walked in with textures, with that feeling of a wow factor, but then still giving that storage in that base unit, being able to give a bigger TV, and then also that display so that they could put their accessories, their picture frames, their things that they've collected over the years. And it really made that room feel luxurious the minute you walk in.
Another thing, lighting is very, very important. When we walked in, as you can see, the light looked too big. It took away the actual impact because it only said, look at me and not look at anything else. We generally like to bring a light which does give drama, but just enough to go with everything else. So here we've used all metal leaves, maple leaves in different gold, silver colors, and it looks nice. It's impactful. It's not as large as the other one, but it's just right enough size for this room, and it makes a huge impact. And the colors all go with the autumny colors that we've used in the fabrics on the sofas or armchairs.
One thing we noticed that was quite a big impact when we walked in was the natural light. So as you can see from here, our clients previously had a huge pelmet which covered a lot of the natural light coming in, and then much thicker curtains. What we thought was we take away the pelmets completely and we use tracks from the ceiling, so that way it makes the ceiling and the floor to ceiling feel much more. So what we did was we put tracks from the ceiling, so it makes the whole length of the wall to what do you call it, floor to ceiling. Yeah, so what we tried to do was we did put tracks on the ceiling to give the whole height of the room. It really made that room feel taller than it actually was, considering all these flats tend to be at quite a low level. What we tried to do is use less fabric on the blackout curtains, so that when they did close them and they kept them open, we were getting a lot more natural light in. Whereas if you see over here, they were taking up so much of the natural light of the room when so much was actually already coming in.
The last thing again we thought of, they were all white tiles in the room, and it was too stark. So how do we warm up, because the client didn't really want to change the tiles, which is understandable. So what we decided to do, we put a very, very large, very plain rug which had a lot of texture in it going on, a lot of movement going on. So it still had a little drama on the rug, but kept it very smooth, which was just complementing all the other things that we had put into the room. We now want to show you the other side, the opposite side of the TV wall, where we had to create a lot of seating, as this room was nice and long, and we had a lovely, lovely long wall at the back. And so we thought of ways of how we should incorporate that wall and use as maximum seating as we could. Over here, the client just had one chair, and it was in a little alcove inside, which was actually making no sense because maybe a reading area, but then we didn't want to lose that space. So what we decided to do, have a long sofa with a little angle, so that angle could take that space, and we did not lose any seating, and we got the people right in, so into the room. Everyone can sit together and talk.
We actually ended up adding more seating, but making the room feel bigger. So from here, by taking away this chair and losing a little bit of space, we added a little bit of height with planters where you could add your greenery and add that kind of wow factor when you see that corner, instead of just making a reading area, which then as a result, as you can see over here, the sofa was moved to this side, which made no sense to the room. The TV was over here, but they were sat over there. Now what you can see is everyone sitting over here can comfortably see the TV in the center of the wall.
And we also actually put some beautiful wallpaper for some drama, because we didn't want everything to be so plain. So we had a little drama with lovely textured wallpaper. This had a lot of movement and shadows in the background, and this had lovely flowers, and the colors were all with like matching with the light, with the autumn theme. The whole thing was all synchronized together.
So the most important thing in any room is spatial planning. And one thing that we noticed when we walked into this room was the spatial planning was a little off. For instance, they used their armchair for a reading nook in this area, which makes it's a lovely idea, but our client wanted a lot more seating. So what we decided was we used a much longer, larger sofa, which was a pain to get up the lift, just so you know. And it made it so comfortable for the people who are watching TV, but then it also made it comfortable for a conversation where people can sit opposite and have that great experience when they're in that room.
Over here, the client had also used a table which was just glass. Wasn't really making any impact, and we just thought we had to create that wow moment. So we added a nest of tables with a lovely ceramic top, which was glossy, and it had lovely earthy colors. It was really, really going well with everything together. And we just put them with a little touch of gold, dull gold, just to get that impact. And wow, it did create a wow moment.
One major thing that we always find is when you're in a room, you want that convenience. So we always like to put nest of tables in every space. So as you can see over here, it means that when you're sitting on your sofa, you've got somewhere to put your coffee, read a book, put your glasses down. It just makes that whole experience like no other. And so we try to really put a lot of nested tables around the room where it makes sense. And so this can be moved over here when the person is sitting on the couch, or when they're moving on to their accent chair.
They can also use like this footstool if they want to sit here and watch TV. They can just move it. It's not heavy, just light, and just put your feet up and watch TV. So we have thought of all the conveniences as well. But overall, we try not to overcomplicate it.
But one thing we don't like to do is overfill a room. We try to make every room practical. So those pieces can be moved around freely so that you can enjoy your room in many, many ways.
Thank you guys for watching. Make sure to like, comment and subscribe to our channel, We Style Homes.